I have a lot of respect for the vice president. He has sworn me into my office as a hero. This week, I hear him literally say that I don't think we should legalize marijuana. I thought you might have been high when you said it. and let me tell you, because marijuana in our country is already legal for privileged people. And the war on drugs has been a war on black and brown people.
So there's Cory Booker in a debate.
that is a little clip. I'm hoping at some point stops being played. But yes, indeed, I accused Joe Biden of being high. It was horrible.
Yes.
Well, not happy with me.
Obviously rhetorical, but actually raising a serious point. And this is in a Democratic primary debate back in the fall of 2019. You were running for president. He was running for president. He did a little better than you in terms of the outcome. But you were making an important point, and part of the reason why it was important was on the substance, and another part of the reason was that it is the case that the current president of the United States' record on crime is troubling to a lot of people. It was troubling during the nomination fight, and to this day, there are many people who look back at the crime bill of 1994 and its importance in having created the very mass incarceration system that you just were passionately railing against. They say, Joe Biden bears some responsibility for that. And unlike Bill Clinton, who did eventually apologized, I don't think Joe Biden's apologized for the crime bill. So I want to ask you, what does it mean to be now? I know you like Joe Biden, I know you respect him, and I know you're going to be working with him. But what does it mean to have a president from your own party who has that history as your partner in the White House now going forward, given your aspirations for how to change the criminal justice system?
Well, I'll say very bluntly, I'm thrilled by the Biden administration, and I talk to them all the time, multiple vectors of conversations I have with this inner circle about how determined they are to make change on this issue. And so that, for me, at the end of the day, this is not personal.
Of course.
I think I'm the only senator that lives in a low-income black and brown community where the folks who are railing or wrestling or entangled with this broken system want results. And I know the Biden administration is committed to doing a lot of the reforms. And I should say the Biden-Harris administration, the vice president has been extraordinarily a leader in the Senate on these issues. So let me just say this. I went from introducing the Marijuana Justice Act, I can't remember how many years in Congresses ago, that I remember people snickering at me that I would take such a bold stand, probably the most comprehensive bill on marijuana reform ever. And now I have two of the more powerful people in the Senate, the chairman of the Finance Committee, Ron Wyden, and Chuck Schumer, my partnering with me. Right. They're my two wingmen. I'm the three amigos that are leading this bill. And it's not just a legalization bill. I try to tell people all the time, do not just seek adult use, because if that was all we did, it would be unjust. You need to talk about expunging records. You need to talk about reinvesting the billions of dollars of tax dollars that come from this in communities that have been disproportionately targeted. You need to talk about business opportunities and making sure they're fair and equitable, because I know this from just watching. You have the biggest Wall Street kind of titans and pharmaceutical companies licking their chops to be moving into this business, squeezing out minorities or women who have been hurt by the war on drugs and should have an opportunity to reap some of the benefits.
But the point of that thing the point that you were making in that debate clip was that Joe Biden had just said that he didn't think that marijuana should be legalized, just within a short number of days before that debate. So I guess I ask you whether, forget about the history, do you feel like you have, not in the administration, I'm talking about in the president right now, do you have a partner who has evolved? We all have seen the president has evolved in a variety of ways. Joe Biden is way more progressive now than he was in the 1990s. He's adopted much more progressive policies on a lot of things. But on this stuff, do you feel like you have a partner who wants to go in the direction you want to go on these points? And what's the evidence for that? That people should look to and say, yeah, Joe Biden has moved in the same way on criminal justice as he has moved on economics and some other things.
So the short answer is yes, I have a great partner. And I want to be more specific, though. Really, to what most sort of affected me on the campaign trail when it came to Biden, because I accused him on more than one occasion of not being there on criminal justice or talked about openly about his history. But I will tell you the thing that most affected me about Joe Biden on the trail is his sort of personal grace. I mean, I can't tell you in commercial breaks during debates, conversations we had at these cattle calls, as you know them, where you're waiting with a small group of the candidates to speak. He believes in decriminalization. And as I said to him the first time we talked about it was, well, my bill is no different. I think states should be allowed to do what they want. I think it should be legalized, but what we need to do at the federal level is delist marijuana. And as soon as you decriminalize marijuana, you open up states that right now are not able to do a lot of things to give way for what I want to achieve. So his policy position on marijuana, he may say, I'm not for legalization, I'm for decriminalization. As a federal official, that's where I'm trying to get. But you went further. You said, hey, Cory, President Biden was a part of a generation of leaders. He is a generation in the Senate ahead of me. That in the 1994 crime bill, which Biden helped to lead, which was voted on by African American members of Congress, what about that? What about that history?
Yep.
And so I'm a big believer in redemption. I'm a big believer that all of us need pathways not to be defined by the worst things that we've done. I think we as a society will close off so many doors to mutual success and a beloved community if we get stuck in judging people for past mistakes. And so for all that generation, we are at a point now where so many people know better, where the evidence, decades now long evidence of what this mass incarceration system has done, how it has aggravated and fueled, as Michelle Alexander in her book by this name, how it's fueled a new Jim Crow in America. And I know Biden is aware of that. And I know he is somebody that's going to use his time in the White House to be an active partner on a lot of racial issues. I have to say, if you had asked me during those primary days, I would not have been where I am now, which is thinking that he actually could go down when it comes to issues of racial justice at a level like a Lyndon Johnson, of someone who has advanced the larger cause of racial justice in our country.